you.
Thank you, Dr. Zhou, and give me this opportunity to say something about my lab and my research in the nutrient-dense and climate-resilient crop in China. And actually, in China, we have three kinds of crops which are nutrient-dense and climate-resilient. The first class is cereals. It includes foxtail millet, broom corn millet, and the sorghum. Also, the second, is the legume beans, different kind of beans, mung bean, red bean, kidney bean, broad bean, and the pea. Also, the buckwheat. Among these crops, foxtail millet and broom corn millet, mung bean, red bean, and the buckwheat. This crop originated or domesticated in China, especially the foxtail millet and the broom corn millet has a very, very long history in China, something like over 10,000 years. And the growing area and the growing region of these crops are mainly in the northern part of China and the western part of China, which is the rain-fed crop. And also, this crop have a very close relation with the food tradition, especially in the northern part, xiaomi, huangmi, which means the kernel of foxtail millet or the broom corn millet. They are frequently used in different kinds of food. And sorghum has a relatively short history. It is introduced from Africa and to China, but it is widely used in the dryland area. Also, the soil and the soil tolerated area. And the sorghum is widely used for wine or vinegar fertilization and other industry and feeding. Legume beans, is a daily food for protein. Buckwheat is another kind of crop. It's different from legume, also different from the three cereals. But it is a nutrient dense. Also, it is very tolerant to the dry land, short growing duration, and also it is tolerant to the infertile soil. And the growing area of this kind of crop in China is something around 9 to 10 million hectares, with a total grain production of 30 to 40 million tons each year. And we have a germplasm collection and a breeding product for all these crops. But I will focus on foxtail millet because I'm doing foxtail millet and in the past 30 years. And in China, we have an agricultural research system which is funded by the Ministry of Agriculture. It is stable funding, for all these crops. For sorghum, millet, we have 33 labs and 29, the extension stations. All these labs and the stations located in the main millet and sorghum growing area in the northern part of China and the western part of China. Mostly, these labs and the stations are in the academic institutes or universities. And the universities is the percentage of these labs and the scientists in universities is small than the academic institutes. There are also a few provincial or regional institutes funded by local government or other regions. And this is funding by the local government usually have a small, research skill. Nearly all foxtail millet and sorghum cultivars were developed by the academic institutes in the past 60 years. But now the situation changed quickly. Seed companies begin doing their building programs, in the past 10 years. But only, relatively a few cultivars released. And for sorghum, And the variety released by companies is the number of hybrid varieties released by the companies is larger than the foxtail millet. And for the millet products, that there are many kind of food use, different kind of ways to use the millet, and mostly as the same, for the rice. But in northern part of China, because the long history of foxtail millet growing, so there are many kind of ways to do their food. But the most common one as kengu, or we say kenji, we say in Chinese, we say zhou, xiaomi zhou. It means the gruel. In Hebei province, in Inner Mongolia, also in Shandong and Shanxi province, xiaomi zhou is very popular for dinner and breakfast. And also, there are different kind of processing food use foxtail millet. In the seed system, the variety, China is a member of UPF member for plant variety protection. And the foxtail millet, blue corn millet, sorghum, and the different species of legume and the buckwheat, all these are included in the protection list. And the Chinese government has established its system for DOS testing, including the testing criteria. Also, the institutions for this testing. This system was established in the 1990s and the 2010s. Now we have a very well established system for the DOS test for all these crops. Before a release of a new culture, DOS testing is the first necessary, the first requisite to verify its distinctness, to verify it is different from the previous one. For a cultivar registration, we need next to do after the DOS test is regional adaptation testing, according to the seed law of China and also related regulations. Foxtail millet and sorghum are included in the list of crop variety registration list. Legume and buckwheat are not in the list. This is because the growing area and the relative importance in the agriculture. Sorghum and the foxtail millet is the main one in relative to others. Before the release of a new variety, 2 consecutive years of regional adaptation test is another request for cultivar registration, which is used to test the agronomic performance, including yield, grain quality, disease resistance, and only those ones who have a higher yield and resistance to common diseases can be released. For the foxtail millet, there are something over 800 sessions of foxtail millet registered in the past 10 years. But most of this variety, mainly from Inner Mongolia, Hebei province, Shanxi province, Liaoning province, and the Jilin province, all these provinces are in the northern part, where is a rain-fed agriculture. And so the Chinese system for all these, climate resilient crop, the building in the academic, the breeding, genetic study, germplasm study are all carried out in academic institutes. And in recent years, some breeding were carried out in seed companies. The DOS testing, regional adaptive testing is controlled by the government. The government leading that, and the government organizes all this testing. After this testing, you have the authority, you get the authority for new variety plant protection. and then release to farmers. And most of the release and the extension of new varieties was done by seed companies, especially the local small seed companies. There are many small seed companies, and they are running these small crops, but the big crops such as maize, rice, and wheat, and they are running by the big companies. And in the past 60 years, in foxtail millet breeding, actually there are three big progress. And the first one is the herbicide-resistant cultivar. And for the big crop, they all have, because of the investment is so large and so big, so many people are doing that. So they have different kind of herbicide resistance. But the small crop, the research is very small. So for the foxtail millet, we have a long time to do the herbicide resistant variety development. We got the herbicide resistance germplasm from the wild foxtail millet, which is Soteria Varieties, the ancestor of foxtail millet, or in the way we do the hybridization, transfer the Sacocidium, Sacocidium is a herbicide, and we found the resistant gene in the wild type, and through the hybridization, distant hybridization, we transfer this gene to the foxtail millet, and now nearly all the foxtail millet released in China is herbicide resistance. Another is the foxtail millet is a successful use of heterosis. The heterosis have a very high potential for the yield increase, also the quality, improvement. But foxtail millet, the spike or the panicle, the seed is very small, so we must have a meiosteral system. But the foxtail millet is very different from the rice, from the sorghum, also the maize. So now we developed a partial meio system. This is distinct from the previous one, crop one. We use this system. We use this this kind of meiosteral as the family, and also the Sacicium resistance line as the male parent. We developed many different varieties of hybrid foxtail millet, and this kind of millet can have a 10 to 20% yield increase. And this photo shows the hybrid seed production and also the hybrid variety performance in the field. Before in my lab, we also do lots of genetics, especially for germplasm population structure analysis. Also, the genome, especially the high quality genome, the pan genome, also the T2T genome. All these are released to the public. Also, we established a functional genomic platform and the database, including mutation banks, also the efficient gene transformation and the verification. We also established the Cas9 verification system to editing foxtail millet genes, and we are using this platform doing the molecular breeding to enhance different kind of food, also different kind of enhance of nutritions. And this is the last photo, shows my breeding field. I hope the foxtail millet can join other crops and collaboration with other nutrition dense and climate resilient crop. We have for the small crop, we have a promising future. Thank you.